morning, guys. This is Celia, aka ForRealCeil, with 90 Days to Do and MLS Wealth Makers. How's everybody doing today? Wow. I don't know. Winter is just not trying to leave, apparently, because it's just cold today. It's like mad cold, but it's dry cold, so it's a difference. Sometimes when it's damp out and it's cold, it feels so much colder. So I'm grateful for the dry atmosphere in the air. It decreases the feeling of coldness, if you get what I'm saying. So here I am driving. I had to think about what I wanted to talk about today because so much stuff is going on, and I'm always talking about products or things, so I'm going to change up my pace a little bit today, but always in the end it seems like I go back to what my thing is. So I'm watching Bitcoin right now, and it's going back down, and actually is leveling out around 95, and it's just riding the 50 period moving average, and it's meeting now the 200 period moving average has come back down to the 50. So it's a crossover going on. I see that, and that's interesting to me because it could mean a lot. It could actually continue to drop, which to me that's what it looks like it may happen, but it may also be charging up for that moon, because it's right there on the line. Really, it could go either way. And the thing that makes me think it's going to go down is that there's a crossover from the 200 period moving average, and it's going down, and it's meeting the 50 again. So I'm watching it. I'm just looking at it, and I'm like, wow, this is incredible and exciting, and I like it. I really do. So listen, I'm here driving, wanting to know what it is about me, right? And I know that sounds crazy, right? It sounds like what it is about you. Well, yeah, what is it about me? There's things that happen to me that are not typical. So when things do happen to me, I have to think back again now and say to myself, oh God, I remember when I was at work and I was saying something, I was walking, I was like, why me? And one of my staff said to me, why not you? Like, you're equipped to handle this. You got this. It's not, you're the perfect person for it to happen to. So I'm saying to myself, well, maybe I am. So I had did a video about, why not me? Okay. So now I'm thinking about what is it about me? Because I could tell you some things like, really, I have been through so many things. Now, it may be like a story to some, but I'm really a unique individual and have been through a lot of crazy stuff, and I just don't know if it's like a destiny calling kind of thing, like it's always gonna be me. I was listening to, oh my God, Eric Thomas this morning, and he was saying that, this is why only 1% succeed. And I'm like, really? 1%? Damn, that's low. But I can tell you a few things about me that are interesting, to say the least. For some it may be absolutely fascinating. I had my tubes cut and burnt after I had my daughter. I had two children. I had Nigel and I had Jocelyn. I did not want to be a statistic. I did not want to sit home on welfare or food stamps. And I'm not saying anything's wrong with people who are getting the assistance who need it, because that's what it's for. Many people struggle to make ends meet, and many people need assistance buying food or just to put diapers on their kids' butts or buy toiletries or whatever. So if you get welfare and you get food stamps, fine. I did not want to be on the system. I did not want to sit back and have a whole bunch of kids back to back to back to back and just have kids and be on welfare. That's what could have happened, because honestly, my husband, well, my ex-husband, my departed ex-husband, he was very fertile and wound up anyway, and I guess I was very fertile as well, is after I had my tubes cut and burnt, I got pregnant again. You know, I had to sign all kinds of papers at the hospital when I had the procedure that since I was young and I was getting that procedure, it was irreversible. If I ever decided at a later point in life that I wanted to have children, I can't come back and sue the doctors. Dr. Heltai and Dr. Ghaffori performed later performed an operation on me because I got pregnant with Toyin. I wasn't supposed to be able to get pregnant. I wasn't supposed to be pregnant. I found out after I was over 3 months pregnant that, you know, I felt different. I just wasn't feeling right. Even though everything else was normal, I was having my monthlies and going through regular stuff, but I was working in an environment. I was working at Teaneck Nursing Home, actually, as a certified home health, and I was doing certain tasks with patients there and stuff, and taking care of very sick people, and I was seeing a lot of nasty stuff, you know, like decubitus and other health issues that really are stressful to the eyes, to the nose, and also lifting heavy people and moving people to go bathe them and stuff. So it was a stressful job, but my body just was not feeling right. So anyway, I got sick. I got very sick on that job. I guess I had the flu or something. And I'll never forget this. At the time, you know, my baby father at the time, which was my ex-husband, his stepfather came up from Jamaica. So we were having something at the house, and I went over there, and I was so sick, and everybody was like, "Oh, why you come over here so sick? Y'all been cold germs and them things there. Yo, where I go on, girl? Y'all drink this something there." Then gave me overproof Jamaican rum with lemon and honey mixed in it, and said, "Drink it. You know, it will help your throat. It will help your head clear up." And then the stepfather drops some overproof gray nephew on the top of my head, in the mole of my head. Now I go home, I still feel like crap. I wake up the next morning, I have fever, I was feeling sick, but I had just started the job like maybe 3 months ago. I don't even know if it was actually 3 months, but anyway, at the time I was talking about going for nursing because they wanted to send me to school to become a nurse. They were like, "Yeah, performance and that." So that turned around real quick. Anyway, I wound up going into work. I was sick as a dog. I went in. I had a patient that I liked, this old dude, and he always looked so in pain, but he looked so peaceful that morning. I went in the room. I was setting up water and everything. I'm like, "Okay, Mr. So-and-so, yeah, you look so peaceful today. Like, wow, I'll be right back." You know, I come. And then I went and saw some other people, and then came back to the nurse's station, and they were like, "Yeah, we need you to go back in so-and-so's room." And then they're like, "Damn, he was dead. He had passed away." They had me wrap a dead body and then call me into the director's office of the nursing home. And then it's like, I said, "Can you drink?" I said, "From time to time." Like, they were like, "Oh, have you been drinking today?" I was like, "No, I haven't been drinking." And they were like, "Oh, you smell like strongly like alcohol." And I'm like, "Damn, they put the rum on my hands. I'm ill." And last night I had I had a concoction to help me clear up my chest and my throat and stuff. And they were like, "Well, you smell like alcohol this morning, so we're just going to send you home for the day." So I wound up getting terminated from that job. They terminated me, and they said it was for, smelling like alcohol. I'm a risk to patients. I may be inebriated or something at work, which I wasn't. And I was like really messed up about that for a minute. But then I still wasn't feeling right. After I got better, I was still feeling sick. So I went to the doctor. Come to find out, I was pregnant with Toyin. I was over 3 months pregnant. I had no idea. I was still having my menses and everything, and I was not supposed to be able to have any children. I had my tubes cut and burnt. I had to sign papers saying I wouldn't sue the hospital if I could never have children again because the procedure was irreversible. So here I am, 23 going on 24 years old, about to have the baby. No, it's 24 already, going on 25, about to have another baby. I had just lost a job. That was a pretty good job. I liked it because I like helping people, but it had its challenges, like the nasty stuff that I used to have to see every day. So I said, in a way, that was a blessing for me because it took me out of a position of lifting heavy people, seeing disgusting things and smells and all kinds of stuff that we deal with in the health field, all right, and see that are traumatizing to us sometimes and would definitely relay to a fetus, all right. So it was a blessing. It was like it was meant to be that I was no longer at that position. Put it like that, all right. So now I leave there. Now I have to go to prenatal because I'm pregnant, obviously, and I went and they were like, "But you had tubal ligation?" No, I had. Yeah, I did. I did have that, but I also had the permanent one. So they were like, "Wow, this is unique." So come to find out, I was getting some weird paps and stuff, weird test results when I was going to get screened for prenatal, and they were doing tests, and they were like, "Well, after you have the baby, we're going to do some further tests because we're getting some suspicious results in the pap smear, and it's concerning." So come to find out, after I had Toyin, I found out I had cancer, and I had to wind up having a radical hysterectomy. So me getting pregnant with my son Toyin saved my life, because had I not got pregnant, I wouldn't have been going to the doctor. I wouldn't have been going to prenatal. I just would have been home living life, doing what I do, and I wasn't having any pains or nothing. But my niece Tia had to talk me into getting the surgery because I was young. I was like, I don't want to have a hysterectomy. I don't want them cutting on me. I don't want another surgery because I had a tumor removed from one of my tubes at one time. And I remember that pain from the recovery of that surgery, and I was afraid to go under a knife again. So I didn't want to have to deal with another big surgery. And I remember my doctor telling me many, many years before I even had my kids that they saw something. He saw something and he was like, "I want to check it out," but I was like, I'm not going back to him after that surgery I had. So I had a tumor on one of my ovaries when I was 16, and they removed it. And for me, the recovery was just painful in the hospital. Once I was out and moving around, I was fine. But I remember that, so I didn't go to the doctor. Had I went to the doctor back then, maybe I would not have. It wouldn't have turned to cancer, and maybe it could have been alleviated by another surgery. Maybe he could have removed the tumors, and maybe I could have had some treatment, and I wouldn't have gotten cancer. But anyway, so I got pregnant with twins, found out I had cancer. I wound up having to have a radical hysterectomy at the age of 25. Okay, that's unique. That's very unique. Things like that have happened to me. I've been in places where I've been in the position to literally be killed and have escaped it. I've been in places where I was in a position to actually get locked up, and I've escaped it. I've been in a position where I was close to getting attacked or maybe molested or worse, and escaped it. And that was due to the grace of God. Like, angels would follow me around. My mother was a prayer warrior. My brother, who turned to Christianity and got saved and became a minister, but he wasn't one at the time. But we always believed in God and prayed and all of that. But I was protected. God was looking out for me because there was so much things that I was doing that I had no business doing, places I would go that my mother didn't even know where I was going. I was going to places that were dangerous. And, I've always came back home. But as a young adult, too, I didn't always make the best choices. So I was really surprised. Damn it, it's traffic. Why? Oh, man. I hate this. Why 280 sucks. Okay, so I didn't know why. I was just like, why am I going through so many things? Why am I having to deal with these kind of issues and things that are happening to me in my life? And I guess it was just me. Because, there's a saying that God won't give us more than what we can bear. And I kind of tend to want to believe that because certain people deal with all kinds of things. There's people who have children with special needs and they're able to cope with it and they're able to deal with it. I look at Bizarre Body. I look at all kinds of shows and stuff and I see things and I know that, we're very blessed and privileged people or, have a lot of good things going for us when people in the world are struggling with all kinds of different stuff that we have no idea about, or even our closed-mindedness, we don't see it. And that's what makes people very strong and endure, able to endure things in life. Trials and tribulations, and they do bring about a testimony of sorts, and it depends on the person, it depends on their concept, it depends on their mindset, it depends on their character. Would you believe that people have children and abandon them with no more thought to that they're a human being, that they're in this world, that you brought them in this world? And I'm not for abortion. I am pro-life. I believe that there are certain circumstances where someone may have to abort, health reasons, sometimes rape reasons, for whatever their reason is, all right? But what really irks me and it just sucks is when people have children and they abandon them or they abuse them and they're just horrible people. Like, I can't understand it. I can never wrap my head around stuff like that. Like, that's just crazy for me. But it happens. Regardless of what I think, regardless of what I know to be my truth in life, I know that there are terrible things, more terrible things than what I've gone through in my life that people are enduring. I remember, and still it may even happen in some areas. I remember, in China, they would prosecute people for turning to Christianity. I used to send Bibles to China. I used to send money. Well, I still do. I do all kinds of stuff. But it was a big thing at one point getting Bibles into China because people wanted to become Christians. They wanted to read the gospel. And they would literally jail these people, imprison them, beat them, sometimes kill them, because they were not able to have a belief in Christ. They were supposed to have beliefs lying elsewhere, right? And that was really something, for me to even know that. And here we're in America, we're free to believe what we will, we're here able to have things where in other countries, even Cuba, at one point I heard they couldn't even own a phone. They couldn't own their own property. Like, what kind of stuff? That was the dictatorship. And then there's all kinds of stuff going on in third world countries that we here don't have to experience, firsthand. I mean, people in Haiti eating dirt to live. And I sit here and talk about having to have food stamps and not wanting to stay on food stamps. So, again, going back to me, the weirdness, the escape from peril, the cancer, the children, the instances that I had several different things occur in my life that I was spared, and God gave me grace. He gave me clemency. I was able, to learn from these instances, I was able to improve my life and think about others while I was going through all these things. And I still carry a lot of weight and stuff, and I got to think about people all the time. I think about myself, I think about my family, and then I think about the motivational speakers that encourage us, encourage me, encourage us to believe. And still, there is, even with all that I know, yeah, I still have doubts. Yes, I still have fears. Yes, hell yes. And it's sad because I should not, because what I'm being taught and what I'm being coached on a regular basis is I'm fierce. I'm a fighter. I'm a champion. You know what I'm saying? I'm a rock star. I should not have fear of anything. And I can coach the same thing. Don't be scared. Don't be afraid. But the thing is besides the fact of being scared, I'm still pursuing my happiness. Then I think of the movie Will Smith did, The Pursuit of Happiness. My God, he was so steadfast. He persevered through some terrible shit. That man that's a real story. That's a true story of somebody's life. Somebody who actually had a child and was out here on the streets and was just driven, absolutely driven, and made it happen. So when I want to give up, when I have people around me saying negative things and thinking what they will and not supporting and not sharing or caring or not liking me just because I'm different or whatever the reasons are, it is what it is. I still have to live for me and my 3 children and my guy that I'm with now and the people who came from those people. I love human beings. I love life. I love nature. I love God. I accept Jesus as my Savior. He is my rock. I know this and I believe it. Do I attend church on a regular basis? No, I don't. And it's for the stupidest reasons. But I could watch church from home. I could worship in my own sanctuary, in my own temple, which is my house, my body. I could worship and driving to work. I can give praise daily. I talk to God on a regular basis, and then I answer myself. But He knows me, you know. And the thing is that I'm good with that. But do I still fear stuff? Absolutely, yes. Do I know that there's a power above me and that controls the universe and puts tilts the tables? Yes, absolutely, because He's the author and the finisher. And if I do all that I'm doing now and continue to do it, I know with a certainty I'm going to be super successful. I'm going to make millions. I'm going to share. I'm going to empower people, and I'm going to keep going, and I'm going to have everything that I want and then some. I'm going to be able to help people change their lives, and when I die, I'll be leaving something for my grandchildren and their children and their children, and also given them some knowledge about the 5 pillars of wealth, saving and investing and having precious metals and doing things to remain driven, motivating themselves and motivating others to greatness, and helping other people to success. And that's what makes people successful. When you lift another person up, when you help another person to succeed, and you really care about people, and you give, you know, I'm a charitable giver. And again, I say I can't give as much as I would like to. I'd like to do more. It's so much more that I want to do, and my hands is tied at certain times. But what I want and what I'm being encouraged to do by another person that I was talking with in my team is to have my own nonprofit, which I always wanted, and I told you that was a goal I wrote down in 2004. It's written down. I know what I wanted to do. I want to do more. It's still in here. And It's gonna happen. I just don't want to wait too late because I'm 51 years old right now, and I'm thinking like if I wait too long, that stuff won't happen. If I sleep on it and I don't take action, but there is a thing, and even the postal office uses the baby steps, so I'm using it. I gotta do things at my pace. Unfortunately, sometimes that's slower than typical. But you know what? Timing. It reminds me of the movie JoJo Dancer, Your Life is Calling, when they was in the restaurant. They were talking about the show and how people reacted to a punchline, or how people reacted to something that you did. And the guy was sitting at the table and he was like, timing, timing. But he was trying to say it, but he stuttered. And the other guy said it for him. And it was funny. It was a funny moment. But timing is so key. Timing is important. Timing makes everything work. It's all about timing, and sometimes it's not your time to do certain things. Sometimes it is your time to do certain things. So I let go and I let God. I'm pursuing stuff. I'm doing everything that I believe I could be doing to enrich my life and to become a better me, and to get stuff going for the future generations, and for my retirement age. Because again, if you don't have something else other than your regular 401k that you have at work and Social Security, you really gonna have a problem. I'm working on that. People don't always understand it, but and then there's people who's well off and they don't talk about their wealth, and they don't share their wealth, and they don't share their knowledge. And that happens more than we know, because again, I see people's successes and I'm like, damn, they didn't share any information about anything or do anything. But I don't know. Let me go, guys, because I'm at work. Have a good day.